It seemed like this game was kind of one of the ones that you wanted to kind of string things together, close it out well, especially some stifling defense. What did you see from the guys tonight?
Well, every game's like that. But you're right. I think there was the way that they shot the ball. There was plenty of opportunities. We built a little lead, or they did. I thought we just, we were consistent. We had, endurance, competitive endurance, and down the stretch we got some stops and made some plays offensively.
And of course, Zach had a big night with 33 points. Just what did you see? We've talked a lot about him kind of staying within himself and being Zach.
Yeah, I think, we even talked about it before the game, and that he's competitive and he's working. All the things from a mental makeup that I think allowed him to push through and keep shooting. That's what we've talked about. Keep working, keep playing, keep competing. He had a good night. We had a lot of guys. This was really a team win. Zach. It's good to see Zach make shots, but everybody contributed in different ways. And that was, whether it was Dyson defensively, Trey playmaking, JJ did some really good things. His versatility, I thought Clint did a great job. You kind of go down the line. Keaton gave us good minutes off the bench. Everybody contributed in some way.
Zach, to get started tonight, hits that first basket, and it felt like, at least as of late, that he's been getting either the first basket or second of the game, his first couple shots. Has that been a specific point of emphasis, or is that just been kind of something that's happened before the offense?
We didn't do it tonight, but there's times when you try to run a play for someone, be it early in the game or out of timeout. It's a way to show confidence. We run stuff for Garrison too because he's going to shoot it and shoot a three. And those things. There's a lot that goes into that. I think as excited as I am and people are, and like that, I think the enthusiasm about Zach's performance is great, but his progress isn't going to be linear. And he's got to stay at it. And, as I said, we have confidence in him whether he makes shots or doesn't. And as much as anything, today I thought he was really good on the defensive glass as well. Had some big rebounds.
Coach, just speaking about defense, I thought
you don't want to ask me about a challenge tonight?
No,
okay.
not tonight. Or not even Dyson either, well, partly Dyson.
Okay.
But I just thought defensively you guys really hung in. It's always physical, but towards the end there when the game's tight, everyone seemed to be back securing that rebound. That's something that offensive rebounds have cost you guys at times. Was that directly addressed, or is that just the guys really hanging in there?
No, it's directly addressed. Consistently, directly, but it's not always easy. And finishing possessions, it's deflating when you play, good defense in a possession and you don't finish it. And that's something. The back end of a possession, something. There's an awareness that you have to have. The other thing is the front end of possessions. I thought when we drive the ball, we have to have recognition that someone's shooting the ball. Really, guys that are spaced to shoot have to really sprint back. And I thought we did better with our transition defense as the game progressed. So those at the beginning and at the end, those bookends are obviously important.
Coach, just a couple for me. Just for the team morale, a win like this after being impacted so much by injuries and with the crowd kind of going at each other, just what does this do for the team's morale?
Yeah, I think this team's been hit with a lot. A game ago we had 5 guys, on their shorts at the end of the game trying to catch their breath. David Roddy was throwing up all night last night. And he came to play. He didn't play a lot of minutes, but he gave us enough. So I know we've got a lot of guys that are out that are looking forward to getting back. But the goal is to keep our spirit. That's something that we have to do throughout the course of the year. Whatever the adversity is, whether it's injury or losses or bad luck. We've had teams shoot a very high percentage against us from 3. But we just got to, we've talked about competitive endurance. And you know, you look at that with the team and, you know, how are we reacting, and that's something as a coach you're aware of and you want to take the pulse of. And we've had guys that just, they continue to work and continue to grind regardless of who's available, and, you know, it paid off tonight.
And not to hone in too much on Zach, but I noticed his teammates kind of ramping up their cheering for him.
Yeah.
Do you think that kind of just helped him throughout the game, encourage him a little
Well,
bit?
there's been a number of situations over the last couple of weeks where, you know, guys have put their arm around him, because everybody knows, everybody's been through an adjustment as you get into this league. Whether it's Trey or Clint coming from Switzerland, the first year he was in Houston, I mean, everybody goes through that. And I think players have empathy for one another in those situations. So nobody's more excited that Zach had a big game than the guys in the locker room.
You mentioned their three-point shooting, and that's been a theme against you this year. But in this game, I think you took 16 more shots, so you really dominated the possession game. What's that kind of speak to when you can win a game when they make 22 threes?
Well, if you look, you know, at the QSQ rating, we've been giving up shots that are, at some point there's a high quadrant three that's contested. Like, that's one at some point you got to live with. I thought in the first half, you know, our contest, particularly on Towns, he's so big and he shoots it so quick, and you just got to get closer to him. But there's other ways to win games, you know. And I think defensively, when you start to get a feel for that, and a lot of those threes, as I said, were in transition, and that speaks to more communication and all those things. But as you said, when a team shoots that well against you, you know, it's tough to get stops, and we got them down the stretch.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay?